Welcome to my second home, which is my workplace in the lab. I wanted to make this video because my day as a lab manager video was kind of more popular than I expected it to be, and I actually have gotten a couple emails to do more about the life of working in a lab and a lab manager in general, which is kind of cool. I didn't think it would be that interesting. My, I guess, keys to success of being a lab manager, or how to be a lab manager. And when I sat down to think about how, I think it's very hard. Everyone is their own lab manager or any type of manager when it comes to being a lab manager. I've been doing this probably close to 3 years. I've never thought of myself as being lab manager or any type of manager material until I guess was asked to, and I attempted, and I guess I'm okay at it. I haven't been fired yet. I think my keys to success, and these are my keys to success, but this is what's worked for me the best. A lab manager, there are some common components to it. You know, you have to make sure everything's running smoothly. You have to make sure everyone is safe. You have to make sure projects are being completed. You have to make sure the lab is stocked. You have to make sure daily operations is functioning. You have to ensure standards of procedures are being followed, and you have to be vigilant. Those, I think, are all encompassing with any type of management or lab management specifically. I think the most important thing is to remember there's your lab management component, but then when you have people working under you and you're in charge of people, you have to know how to manage people. They come together, but they're also very separate. So in how I manage my team, I have technicians and interns under me, and I also have my fellow coworkers as well. I think one key to success is listening to them, understanding what they see and what they have to deal with in the lab. There might be things that I don't see, or there might be ideas that they come up with that I don't think of. Taking the time, even every week, to ask them how they're doing. Ask how your team is doing. Notice how they're acting. If they're in a bad mood or they're acting unlike themselves, ask them what's going on. Maybe you can fix the problem before it gets any worse. And it also shows your team that you care, which is very, very important because they're ultimately running the show a lot of the time. You always want to lead from behind, not in front. Your team is everything. You're not a leader, you're not a manager without your team. I think also understanding the different styles of learning from each member of your team. I constantly ask, how do you learn best? Do you like watching, then performing? Do better with a protocol in front of you, reading off a piece of paper? It's all different. And I think when you are in tune with your team's learning habits, it, one, shows that you care. Two, you're getting across what you need to get across. And that goes to my other keys to success. You have to be clear about your standards and your rules because it can be misconstrued. You have to learn how to articulate. I don't want to say it's confident, but you have to understand what you're teaching. So I'm constantly reading protocols. I'm constantly teaching myself about reagents and chemicals and standards of procedures and why we're doing that. Because if I know and understand why and what we're using better, I'm able to relay it better. But you also have to be as clear as possible. And I think what gets misconstrued a lot of the time in anything lab management, I think one of the most difficult things is learning how to say no. That has been one of the most difficult things I have found as a lab manager, saying no and kind of being the bad guy. I am a pushover at heart. I don't think I ever really get mad or frustrated, but sometimes you have to be clear at what is wrong and what is right, no matter how close to your team you are. I've known members on my team for 3+ years now. It is hard to say no. It really is. It's because you have to set limits. You have to set the line. I am the lab manager, you are under me. It's not a hierarchy thing. It is just, this is how it has to be for order. I think that is one of the most difficult things personally for me. But I think what helps ultimately in making a team function and being very mindful of your team is when you listen to their ideas and you say thank you. I constantly thank my team. I constantly say how proud of them I am when, you know, other members of the company are thanking me for their help. That makes me feel really good as a manager and as an instructor. They are you. Ultimately, you have to invest time in your team as a manager in anything, because they are your reflection of, you know, what you want in your workplace. You have to set the standards, you have to set the bar. And ultimately, understanding what it means to be a manager in anything, it falls back on you. It really does. It's very stressful because you feel like you have to have the answer for everything. It's okay not to have the answer for everything, but I think confidence in saying, I will go research that because you know how to use your resources. That is a tough thing when you feel like you have all the eyes on you, but you get over that because you're willing to be like, I will go find that out for you. You're willing to help your team out. I think just constantly keeping an open mind and being respectful of your team, it helps. It really, really helps. Those have been my keys to success. And I'm not saying I do it the right way. I'm not saying I could be doing it the wrong way, but I hope to do more videos like this in the future. When I have a moment, this is like the first time the lab is very, very quiet. Normally it's bustling with people and a bunch of different things. Let me know if you are a lab manager and let me know what you do. Managing. I saw myself in science, but never managing a lab. It's crazy, but it's so rewarding when you get to teach people. And I also learn from members under me. I have people who are over 10 years younger than me, and I learn from them. They make me a better manager. They make me who I am as a manager. They teach me so much, and to see and to watch them grow, it's the most rewarding thing, I think. And that's not me being corny. It makes the hard work worth it when you're able to provide for their education, their skill sets, you're able to enhance their mind, you're able to inspire them, you're building them as a person, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in this. It really does make the hard work worth it. So if you are a lab manager, if you're any manager, let me know if you relate. Let me know if you're scared. Some days I'm like, am I qualified to do this? But I have to remember my hard work. And sometimes I sit and I reflect where I came from and all of my years training for this moment. Not that I was aspiring to be a manager, but it just shows you like, wow, all the hard work pays off and you have to give yourself more credit. I have to give myself more credit sometimes, but yeah, it's all inspiring. It's amazing.